One of the quotes in that article was from a market participant saying that being a China investor right now is frustrating. Is that what you're hearing?
Well, it's not just what we're hearing. That's what we are experiencing as investors or advisory people ourselves. So let's talk about July, what's happening right now. You talk about the third plenum. We've been saying that July being critical month for China. And so far, like you said, it's a slow burning. Look at the data, economic data of China this week or last week. Disappointing GDP figures. And the most disappointing part is about the consumption. Quickly, the consumption contributed to 1.9% to GDP growth in the second quarter, down from 3.9%. So in first quarter, consumption contributed to almost half of the growth in, most of the growth in the first quarter. Now less than half, and that's what's disappointing or frustrating to most people, because when people think about China, in addition to the exports, consumption is a big driver, and apparently that's not working because of
Chi, we are of course expecting some lines, and Sam will of course be analyzing that from the third plenum tomorrow. Do you think tax reforms is going to be a major thing to watch out for within what gets announced?
Yeah, well, that's what being reported. Actually, the media has been wrapping up and talks about this potential tax reform, including corporate tax and even consumption tax. We don't know for sure. Just for background, this third plenum is mostly a political conference, not an economic event. But the market is expecting stimulus and things like that, which is reasonable because, there's a saying that extraordinary times require extraordinary measures. So there is a slight chance. I think there's only a slight chance that they will come up with a stimulus or a meaningful policy. Like I said, this type of events, usually we talk about the governance framework, the internal politics of the Chinese Communist Party, etc. It's not really geared towards the economy. But back to your question, yes, there will probably be something on the tax reform. One context about that is really back to what I said about consumption. How do you stimulate consumption? China is now contemplating maybe split the consumption tax with the local government. So the local government now also have the incentive to stimulate consumption so they can also share the consumption tax.